Guys, I am so excited. I've heard about this donut for so long, and my friends have all told me this donut is pretty good. I mean, there were some people who said it was alright and it wasn't that great, but you know what? I'm gonna try it for myself because I've heard some great things with this donut. I've seen some great commercials for this donut, so we're gonna try it. Oh wow, that's a good donut. Yeah, the first couple bites are good, but you know what? Now that I've chewed on it for a bit, it kind of just tastes like every other crappy donut I've ever had. Wow, that's I can't wait to be finished with this so I don't have to eat this anymore. That's pretty disappointing. You know what? This reminds me of something. What is Oh yeah, Suicide Squad. Let's talk about it on today's Two-Edged Review. All my friends are here. Never mind. A lot of people are going to say that I didn't like this movie because I'm a Marvel fanboy and I don't like anything dark. And I didn't like the different setup of how the villains were the protagonists and yada yada yada. Okay, but first of all, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, a movie with 5 or 6 people who are generally considered villains team up to save the world. I like that movie, and we hadn't seen those characters anywhere outside of that movie. So I should have liked this movie. Have you ever heard of a movie called The Crow with Brandon Lee? It's a pretty dark movie. I can enjoy dark movies, and I enjoyed the first 20 to 30 minutes of Suicide Squad. That is not the reason I didn't enjoy Suicide Squad. For the most part, I liked some of the characters. I liked Deadshot. I feel like he was probably the person that we most could root for because he was the most human with his conflict with his daughter and how he's doing bad things for a living, and his daughter sees him as not a hero and he wants to be seen by his daughter as a hero. I liked him. His suit was cool and he was just awesome, and Will Smith knocked it out of the park with his performance. Margot Robbie did a great job as Harley Quinn. For those of you who care about this kind of thing, she is pretty over-sexualized in this movie. And Amanda Waller, awesome. Her presence just dominated this movie, okay? It was just awesome. Like I said in my spoiler-free review, I'm going to say it again. Props to the woman who played Amanda Waller. She was awesome. And finally, Jared Leto's Joker was awesome. He was really cool from what I saw of him, because his scenes feel like they should have been a whole nother movie, and they just kind of chopped it to pieces and stuck it in this movie. And every time this happens, it goes off the plot. So really awesome scenes, but still going off the plot. Why didn't we just get a Harley and Joker movie? Come on. The characters I didn't like, Croc, completely wasted. I've heard Batman fans say this character is a really complex and awesome character. I didn't get that in this movie because he says like 3 things and his jokes are all awful. Flag, boring, didn't care. Enchantress, oh, belly dancing Galadriel. This was just the worst villain you could possibly imagine. Oh my goodness. I think that's one of the reasons the action in this movie is so boring. Because I didn't care about the villain. Now they set it up pretty good, and I was loving Enchantress' character, especially when like it's like, oh, that was so wicked. Once they go into the action, it's like watching someone play a video game, except you want to play it, or you at least want it to be interesting, but it's just like watching someone else play a video game. Okay, have you ever heard the term faceless villain or faceless army? It means we need our characters to go up against something, but we haven't really established anything for the antagonist's army, so we're just going to have these random guys to fight them. I think this movie took that really literal because these guys have no faces, and just Enchantress just makes out with them, and then they'll just get all green, and they just slice through them like butter, and it's just ridiculous. One of the reasons why this was so boring is because I didn't care about Enchantress, and she was weird, and she had a floating trash ring in the sky for some reason, and Why? All right, one of the biggest problems that I don't think anyone's addressed is the twist of this movie. When Deadshot finds this folder and he finds out, hey, we're not actually fighting these terrorists. This is actually some creepy witch who's involved with Flag, and we're really fighting that. Screw this. And they all go into the bar. But except it's not a twist, and it seems really pointless the way they hype it up. Because I, the audience, already know that. So what's the point? They should have wrote this differently, because this scene didn't make any sense. Let's talk about the bar scene. I know a lot of people who like this movie like the bar scene. I found it was just a way to insert more stuff and more flashbacks and basically put things in here for the finale. For instance, when she said, "We don't get a normal life," Harley says, "We don't get it. Normal's a setting on a dryer." Later on, she has a vision where she's married to El Diablo, and she sees herself setting the dryer to normal, and that's her dream, and Enchantress is trying to tempt her, which you wouldn't know unless this bar scene happened. And then we know that El Diablo hasn't admitted that he is a bad guy, and he hasn't fully accepted his responsibility for murdering his wife and daughter. So when he says, "I gotta own it, nothing can change it, not even you," I don't care, because you didn't set that up in the beginning of the movie like you should. You set that up in this bar scene that was clearly only made so this finale would make sense. I mean, also after the bar scene, Captain Boomerang walks out, which I guess I'm not supposed to like Captain Boomerang. That's the vibe I got from the movie, but I don't really know much about any of these characters, so I really didn't care. He leaves, but then in the montage where they're all walking, he came back? Why? And then, of course, in the finale, Diablo transforms into a big monster guy, which was like, oh, what? Oh, yay. That's something. That's so cliche. Oh, Harley Quinn's gonna surrender. Oh, just kidding, picks up a sword, slash. Oh, yeah, isn't that cliche? Oh, cliche after cliche after cliche. And I was just ready to be out of this movie. I'm going to give Suicide Squad a C-. This has been a Two Edge Review. I'm your host, Edge, and see you next time. Also, Flag and Enchantress relationship reminds me of something. Let's see. Girl gets possessed. Girl turns into something terrible to try to destroy the world, only to get burned up and assumed dead, and at last minute when no one expects it, come back to life. Nope, never heard it before.